Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today I'm making a coffee soap using this fragrance from Wholesale Supplies Plus, Vanilla Hazelnut. And I have soaped with this before. It smells so good. It smells just like the name. It's wonderful, kind of nutty, kind of vanilla-y. It does have vanillin, so it does say it discolors to a light brown, and I have found that to be true. So how I'm going to tackle this is my lye solution will be made with a combination of dark brewed coffee, and actually not a combination. I'll make my lye solution with the coffee, and I will save off a little portion and do goat milk and oil, and I will also use cream powder because I like cream in my coffee. So I want this to be a goat milk and coffee soap. That's how I'm going to tackle it. And then I will put some already brewed grounds in the soap body, most of it. And then I will pull off just a little portion of the soap batter that doesn't have coffee grounds, and I won't fragrance it so that it will stay a lighter color for a little swirl, just to add a little, you know, I love it when you pour cream in your coffee and you stir it and you get the little swirlies. It's so pretty. So the reason that I use already brewed coffee grounds is because, first of all, the coffee has been brewed out, so they're not going to bleed out. They don't get those little, you know, halos around them because they're already brewed. It softens them a little bit too, so they're not quite as scratchy in the body of the bar. I use a very fine kind of espresso grind coffee, which is great for brewed coffee. So I'll make a pot of coffee, save the grounds, and I like how it feels in the body of the soap better than fresh coffee. That's just how I like to do it. That's how I was taught to do coffee soap. So that's how I do it. It will have a gentle exfoliating feel, but it's not too harsh. And I think coffee is great for your skin. A little bit of caffeine. It's supposed to be pore tightening and, you know, all that good stuff. As I get older, I like, you know, any of those little tips and tricks are wonderful. So coffee soap is the soap of the day today. I've got to get everything pulled together. Go make a pot of coffee, save off those grounds, get my goat milk out, get my hair pulled back, all the prep work done. And let's come back and make some, what is it? Vanilla, I almost said hazelnut vanilla. It's vanilla hazelnut coffee soap. All right, it's soap additives time. And I do have my brewed coffee ground. It's a little liquid on top, but it's about a generous tablespoon of brewed coffee grounds in there with just a little bit of sloop in there. And I have my fragrance off to the side because that will only be added to a portion of this, the bulk of it. So let's get the additives in here. I've got my goat milk that I have discounted from my coffee lye solution. And because we like cream in our coffee, I like cream in my coffee, I'm doing heavy cream powder in here with the goat milk. I shouldn't say we. My husband likes black coffee sometimes. He pretty much will drink it anyway, but I really only like it with cream in it, to be honest. Definitely like my creamy coffees. So, all right, there goes the kale and clay. Here comes the colloidal oats. And that is it for the additives. I'm going to get this all blended up and let it absorb, and I'm waiting for the coffee lye solution to finish cooling, and we will come back and get started making soap. All right, we're back and it's time to make soap. So what I've got going on here is some dark brewed coffee that I did dissolve cane sugar in. There's tussa silk fibers in there and sodium lactate along with the lye. So this is my coffee lye solution. And even though I'm going to leave one part of this unscented, I'll add a little TD to kind of help evade that dark coffee color. You know, it's part and parcel of making coffee soap. But I think that with leaving the fragrant out of that tiny little bit and a little TD, I'll have enough color difference that you'll be able to see a swirl, like a little cream swirl in here, is what I'm hoping for. So I'm going to just get this up to a nice light trace. Smells great in here. I've got the fragrance off to the side, and I will measure that into the bulk of this. I've done that before where I leave a little tiny portion unfragranced, and it's really kind of nice. It does not have the color bleed over into it from the fragrance discoloration. I've had good success with that. So that's what I'm hoping for today. It's the next day and I am very anxious to get in here and take a look. This fragrance behaved beautifully. I had lots of time to mix, and it smells fantastic. And it, of course, the fragrance is going to discolor a little more as we cut in here. It'll probably be not as dark as it's eventually going to get, but let's get in here and see how it is. I did come in and steam the top earlier, so it's got that little gloss to it. Didn't have soda ash, but I just wanted to shine it up because it's kind of simple. Oh man, that looks creamy and good. Let's get in here. I'm back with the lovely Olga, and I'm anxious to get in here. I'm really loving the top. These just look creamy. They smell so good. The little flecks of coffee in there. And this is definitely going to discolor. You can see that little rim of dark and on the bottom here. Sorry, I don't want to flip this upside down. So this is going to definitely get a little bit darker, but I love that. This is a more coffee color. So anyway, let's get in here and see if we got some little creamy, wispy swirls going on so that it looks like a swirly, creamy cup of coffee or cappuccino, or what do you like? I always get confused when I order what's the difference between a cafe latte and a cappuccino. I am not a super fancy coffee person. I just really like a good cup of coffee. Oh, I'm loving it. Just the little wispies. These are evoking all the coffee house vibes for me. Anyway, my husband likes Americana. I think those are, I don't know what those are, but that's what he likes to order. There's so many options out there, aren't there? Tell me what you like in the comments down below. I'd be curious if you have any recommendations. So yeah, see the top color there? That I think is what this is going to cure out to. And just barely the little wispies in there. And I'm loving it. So I actually don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. When I get up, I drink green tea with a little turmeric and pepper in it. And so that's what I drink before I go on my morning walk. My husband and I walk a couple miles in the morning. And then around 10 or 11, then I have my coffee. This one I'm loving. Yeah, and that's like my mid-morning pick-me-up. So that's how I do coffee. I used to drink it right away in the morning, but I didn't want to jolt my system quite that much. So the green tea does have caffeine, but it's a little gentler. So I'm going to take this and make some samples out of this little end piece, and then we'll get to the next loaf.